More nutmeg. Hey, it is Friday, and welcome into the Nutmeg Tavern. We are live today. We're going to have lots of fun. It's a packed show. I'm your host, John Townsend, and we're going to be talking outhouses today of the 18th century. Such a wonderful topic. I am joined behind the bar. The man who's serving is Ryan.
Hello. It's good to be here today.
He's serving it up today. Thank you, Ryan, for being here and making it happen on the other side of the time vortex. And he has already been fighting it. If we're a little late, it's because it's being bad.
Bad.
But he's whipping it into shape. Aaron.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for being here. Yep.
Thank you, Aaron. So, hey, folks, if we might as well just say it right now. Hit the like button so that we can get to 1,000. Then maybe YouTube will actually tell people that we're live. I'm just saying. So, busy. Lots of things going on. Sorry we missed last Friday. It just wasn't going to happen. So, we'll make double the show today to catch up with last Friday. That's really good. Do you want to serve me now or in a little bit?
No,
I got plenty to drink. We do have a drink coming up, but
Ooh.
Nice.
see.
Ooh.
But before we get there, I'm gonna start right now with the Patreon names that I missed last week. I'm not even sure if I missed the week before. New Patreon folks: Matthew Spoon, Historical Lex, Hubert Yamada, Autistic Wisdom, Andreas, Jacob Harrington, Ryan Hobbs, and also some folks help support us on PayPal. Christopher Ford, he's a regular. Thank you, Christopher, and thank you all you Patreon folks. And a double thank you to all you folks that support us over on Townsends Plus. Hope you're enjoying the new content over on Townsends Plus. That is a fun project, and we're doing a lot of stuff with that. So, so many projects sort of in the beginning phases right now. We're planning a bunch of shooting next week for a bigger episode. This Monday's episode that you're going to see next is going to be fun. I really enjoyed doing this episode on mushrooms. Oh yeah,
Man.
And now's the time of year. Well,
That's fun.
Yeah. So that's a must-see episode. Make sure to tune in on Monday for that one. And it just really went well. And it was a fun one to do. Got to wear different clothes. We shot it in a different location than we normally do, or at least not very often recently. So it's got a lot of different things going on with it. And I think you're going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of fun shooting it, which is good, which is really good. Today's episode was actually spurred by Kelly Zellen. I think that's how you spell her last name. She recommended this particular book. Let me get this. She recommended this particular book to us in email. It's called Where We Live, and a tremendous book. And a lot of what the book is based upon is images that were collected in the 1930s, some of them later than that, but in the 1930s they had, part of the WPA program was setting people aside to go and research historical homes and take pictures of them. So historical, what's it called? Historical American something. I can never remember. Anyway, so they went around, all these guys went around and took pictures, these beautiful, sometimes beautiful images of these historic homes in the 1930s. And, recorded where they were at and oh, there it is. Thank you, Ryan. There's the drink. We'll just let it sit there for a second. Anyway, they recorded the images of these as they stood at the time. And some of these buildings were collapsing. Some of them have been redone since then. But we have this kind of time capsule of images from that time period. I think, Ryan, you're going to love some of these images because he's Ryan's also a photography kind of person.
Yeah.
So
I bought the email. I mean,
Right, the book,
I
yeah.
bought the book when the email came in too, and it's beautiful. It's just
yeah.
beautiful.
Well, some of the images and black and white imagery of that time period. All these images were mostly shot on 4x5 cameras, so the negatives are huge. So there's lots and lots of detail, resolution, and really cool pictures. So I was going through this giant collection of them. They're available on the Library of Congress. I went through and I was searching, and they don't do a great job of sort of pointing out neat things. It's sort of like, well, there you go, search through the 50,000 images. Good luck with that. And I said, I'm gonna just pick one little keyword topic and pull it out. And outhouses was it's like, let's do 18th century outhouses. People ask about those kinds of things all the time. And it's not an easy thing to research because people don't talk about outhouses all that much. They don't do paintings of outhouses in the 18th century. And they may reference the idea of a privy, but they're not going to give you much detail about it. And so what we've got for images of historical ones is actually very, very useful. So let's jump in to these images. Aaron, can you give us the first one? So this is the one I used on the thumbnail. And I can't even remember where this one was from. This one's not 18th century. This is likely 19th century out west. The main problem with this one is it doesn't have a door. But other than that, it's nice. It's nice. It's a interesting post technique with slab cuts for the side walls and even slabs for the top. And then it's a two-holer, so you've got you got multiple capacity there for your
Lots of opportunity.
yeah. There you go.
I can already tell this is going to be a rowdy episode.
Now, unfortunately, I don't have my notes on these, so I'm gonna have to remember as best I can for these. And I believe this one is from a very well-known historic home, early 19th century. I believe it's about 1815. And this one is right beside, so the building right beside it, you see here, is actually a horse, a place where you would store your horses in the short term. Not like the horse's barn, but if you come to visit or, the horses are gonna be ready to be used that day, it's gonna stay in this little building beside it. And then the privy is right beside that. And interesting little two doors. So it's a two-holer, but it has two separate doors. So, different people can be in there at once and not. It's a little more civilized. Let's just
You can be like two ships passing in the night.
let's just say it like that. And so look closely at what's going on also with the photography on this. And these kinds of things are very, very difficult to photograph in black and white sometimes, and kind of separate them from their background. We got it's a long exposure, even though it's very bright out, so it must have been very, very slow film because we got movement of trees in the background. So either that, or it was just super windy, but more than likely it was a very long exposure, and so a very slow film. But just the detail is incredible. Love it. Some of the later images are going to be even better. Let's go. So actually, I believe this one is 18th century, or it reminds me of one of the ones from the 18th century. I'm trying to remember if this one's a doctor's house. The roof, the house that this goes with is actually very similar, but the roof doesn't do this really, funky curved thing going on with it. I'm not sure why they did the roof quite like that, but I do believe this one is 18th century. Interesting the way the windows are at the top and on both sides. A lot of them, it's sort of like they don't even need siding. The door frame, and the windows fill up that whole width, which is not a typical design you see on something like this. But a 6-panel door. typical siding and that, and watch what's happening right at the roof line, not the curved pitch there that takes off there, but what happens right at the roof line. We're going to see something similar to that as we keep going.
This one?
Yeah.
I love how fancy it is.
Yeah,
It is very
fancy. Well, they want to fit
Oh,
with that. Oh, yeah. This one.
It's a dollhouse. Or it's a playhouse, it looks like.
Again, I believe this one's early 19th century. You can kind of see the sort of Greek revival going on in the background with the big house. So early 19th century, I believe this is 1815 or so. Multiple doors here. It might be either, two different occupational areas there, or one side might be a privy and then a washroom. Sometimes we have multiple uses on these buildings. I find that very interesting. So notice what's going on there, how we've got a door in the middle and 2 windows on either side, and then the other side is totally asymmetrical. Now, here's a pain in the butt. You're a photographer and you're trying to take a picture of this thing, and there's trees growing everywhere, right in the middle of it. It's like you're just thinking, come on, guys, just cut this tree down for me so that I can take the image of this and it looks great.
It'd be real thoughtful of them to think about where they plant the trees.
Yeah, be careful, guys. I think there's even some kind of little toupee at the rooftop, but we can't quite see.
Is the tree blocking another window yet? I don't think
so, no.
Okay.
Now, this one is Poplar Grove, I believe, which is Jefferson's second home. It's octagonal. I mean, really? Octagonal? They even have images, and this is one of the few color images that shows up. The scan on this one, I'm not sure what I think it was actually still an early one. Some of these images might be from the 60s, but I believe this one's earlier, and a very expensive full color image, and just tremendously good.
Wonder what I should use my full color film on.
Right, this is the one.
Now, I want to take a picture of something beautiful.
I think there was multiple images of this guy, and I don't have the other ones. I believe on the back side there's a small half-round window. Notice we can't see any windows, none on the door. There's got to be a window somewhere, else you go in, you shut the door, and you can't see anything. So there's got to be a window. Even the method that they did the framing of the roof, there's photographic evidence of that. So really cool. A Jefferson bathroom.
Someone said this could be a tower at Hogwarts.
Yeah, and probably 1820.
Someone called it the observatory.
Well,
oh, nice.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm not gonna say anything.
Well, on to the next one.
Ooh. This is the inside. This is the inside of it.
Not as fancy.
This is the inside of the silo?
That little octagonal one. See, there's the little half-round window. Now check out what's going on. It's got a regular sized person spot, and it's got a little sized person spot. Yeah. So, and that's very, very common.
They just think of everything.
A lot of these internals have special thrones for little kids, because, I mean, you could just fall right in. So you don't want to do that. What? I mean,
I'm just letting the chat go.
Everybody's got to go to the bathroom.
Well, yeah,
it's a great topic.
I don't see what's so funny.
It's a great topic.
So anyway, I think the little kid side there is very interesting, and it's very small on the inside, and you can even see how it's octagonal and all that going on there. You guys are making this difficult. So this one is, I mean, so far you've seen the buildings, they haven't been all that tall. This one's tall. Not sure why, but it's tall. And I believe, again, this one is early 19th century, and this is a kind of high-end historic home. Again, darn, I don't have my notes on this one. But I'm ready to go. I'll keep going. Now, this one is Virginia, definitely 18th century. Notice what is going on. As the roof is over the door. Okay, so there's even these little side things there. You know, instead of the overhang just overhanging, they've got a special little, soffit things going on there. So take note of that one and the size. This one's just like, locked into a very, very square, I don't know what I would call that, say 7 feet square, maybe 6 feet square, max 8 feet square. 2 windows on either side, double hung windows so that you can open them up. And Virginia, this one definitely. We're gonna see this one again, which is really kind of throws me off. So go ahead. There's again the inside on one of the fancier ones. They've got lids that fold down, cover up they even sort of almost set into it. So it's very nicely done, paneling there. I'm not sure what that upper little hinged covering is. And again, there's a smaller size one on one side. Yeah, I don't know what you guys are.
Nobody's made a sound.
Okay. A beautiful white on the inside, so that it's cleanable. It's probably a very slick paint. So yeah, a good inside for one of these.
Yeah.
What's this? Well, you already moved on there.
Well, I can go back.
I just wondered what this other little, I see that. Is this another little one?
The upper panel
on the left?
or on the left? I don't know. I mean, see how the lid covers the entire thing.
Yeah.
So it definitely could be. I would imagine it is, or there's no reason for that, unless it's where you put your magazines.
Yeah, I was going to ask. I was going to
It's your
say I
reading
hadn't
material.
seen any reading material.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, none of these are in use, so you know.
I'm not. You're just chuckling. I'm not making a joke. I'm being serious.
Well, the chat is pretty funny.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, they're cracking me up.
You guys.
Okay.
You're making Aaron laugh.
Okay, so you can keep going. Not only did they photographically record these, but in some of these we have architectural drawings, or we have the draftsman coming in and giving us the full description, so that we can see exactly what's going on with the framing technique and the sizes and the posts.
That's actually really cool.
It is, isn't it neat?
Yeah.
So this one's Colonial Williamsburg Foundation, part of that project, Essex County, Virginia. I believe this is the except it doesn't have those little windows in the front. Anyway, but we can see what's going on. This one has 4 holes.
Yeah.
Side windows. We can see exactly what's going on with the roof there.
I like how they show how far the door opens into it.
Yeah.
Yes.
All helpful stuff.
People in the chat are asking a serious question they don't see in the, cleaning. There's no toilet paper holder. What's going on with that situation?
Yeah, that's a really good question.
Okay, great.
I don't know how to answer that question.
All right.
Let's just say they probably had shortages just like we did. Anyway, that was Cherry Walk back there at that one there.
Sorry.
Because it actually told us. So go ahead.
Now that's a really tall.
Yeah, this is a lighthouse in Maine. And no, that's not the outhouse here.
I know. I was making a little joke.
I think it's...
Oh, it's a really tall one.
Yeah, it is.
Real knee slapper.
Yeah, so we got the lighthouse. There's the regular house where the lighthouse keeper lives. There's the little building. We're working our way left here. The little building is the oil house that's next. Then there's the outhouse, and then there's the storage shed. This is on an island, out or on the very endy point in Maine, kind of up north, I believe. And if you go ahead one more slide.
Can you imagine the wind coming across there at night when you have to run to the restroom?
You don't even want to know. So there's a close-up of what's going on. There's the outhouse, which got multiple, notice high windows. I'll bet you you open up those windows and whew, it's just like, no problem with that.
Good ventilation.
Airflow, yeah.
Next.
Yep. Now, check these out. This is 3 houses, all the same. I believe late 18th century. And one is a dairy.
Oh.
One is a smokehouse. And one is the privy.
You
All
better
matching.
have your houses straight.
Yeah. You're like, whoa, I walked in the wrong one. And they don't identify them for us, unfortunately. Now, notice what's going on with the ventilation.
Yeah.
There's one that has little keyhole ventilations. Though the far one has sort of, I don't know,
Like
wavy
little vent.
grate. I don't know what's going on with that.
That's interesting.
This one, close hole with the keyhole ones, doesn't have a window. I believe that's probably the smokehouse.
Yeah, I would say so.
And probably the one with the wavy things over on the far end is likely the dairy.
Well, and this one on the very close end, it's got like a connecting little. Maybe that's to feed more wood.
I would bet you
Yeah.
that it might be an opportunity to have the smoke outside of the house so it doesn't heat the items that you're smoking, or it could be just a little storage for the materials for burning or whatnot. But very interesting that notice how important these 3 structures are to this household. They're all the same, and most households are going to have all 3 of these items in some form or another. And obviously, for some reason or another, they don't have any problem with the locality of them. I probably would have put the privy not close to those 2.
Well, especially, the way that this looks like it's laid out is the dairy's in the middle.
No, I think
Right?
it's the far one. I think it's the far one.
Okay, I guess I didn't hear you say that.
I'm guessing. I think the middle one is the privy.
Okay.
But, I don't know. So it doesn't make a ton of sense to me which way it is, but still very similar. Again, roof styles. Notice they're square buildings. They have that same pitch. They even have what's going on with almost exactly the same amount of overhang and how it's dealing with that overhang. These are not all in the same state or in exactly the same region. So it is a bit of a, and it's got this pyramidal roof style. It isn't, a standard sort of roof. Now, this, again, Greek revival home. The privy's the little one all over here that's covered up with the bushes. I'm sure the photographer was like, hey, do you mind if I cut those bushes out of the way real quick? I believe it's a Greek revival, 1820s. If you can imagine, if you're making the privy this fancy, the house, I didn't have the image of the house here, but the house is amazing, beautiful house there.
It might be a good time to visit some super chats.
Okay,
if that's
yeah,
okay.
let's go ahead.
The issue that I have here, Aaron, I had to refresh my page, so you're going to have to help me out with some of these that didn't load back properly.
Okay.
From the beginning and work your way down, and I'll let you know where I can take over.
Okay. You need me to start?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I think pickle jars was the first one.
I think mine did the same thing.
Oh, guys,
we went in a tight spot.
Guys, the most recent super chat, the oldest one that I have is from John Talley, and that is not the oldest one. I had to refresh my page, and for some reason they didn't load
There's
back.
no way to get back to it.
No. 1 second, though. Let me try something.
Okay, well, I'll start with what I've got right now. John Talley's in super chat. My wife is right. Men never outgrow laughing about pooping and farting. The chat has me in tears from laughing. I'm sure that you can hear Aaron over the microphone, but yeah, I don't know what to say about that. I think I have to admit defeat. Amber, Crystal daughter, I can't remember. Sorry, daughter, I think. In medieval keeps, they had the garderobe, holes on a high floor with a pit below. They did that so ammonia fumes would come up into their wardrobes and drive bugs away from their clothing. That's really interesting.
Is that all the ones you can see?
Those are the two that I can see. I can
have
see
two that I can
Lala
read.
Petite 94 is a new member, so thank you very much
you.
for that.
Yes.
I have two that I can read. I don't, man, sorry about that. I don't know why it glitched
Blake.
out.
I've got Blake's too. Do you have
Okay.
Blake's? Blake is in Super Chat. Could
Yep.
you imagine the sound and splash a turd would make dropping one that high? I think that was in reference to the Lighthouse. I'm just going to go ahead and
Really?
read
Read 'em?
these so they're fun, and everybody's just going to have fun with us. Moses. Maybe I've got more. Maybe they're loading.
Are they loading it?
Stale urine was a key ingredient for the production of nitra. What provision was made in these outhouses for its collection? Were there instances of pots or other collection methods for urine only?
My guess is that's happening inside the house with
Yeah.
chamber pots. That's chamber lye, and it's probably one of those sort of,
I don't think
I'll just say it like that.
Yeah, I don't think that this is necessarily the same thing. Usually, for those purposes, it's the first relief of the day that you want. So I don't know if they were concerned about it all day long.
There you go. Somebody knows more about it.
Celestial teas. Would multiple people sit at the same time if there's more than one toilet? I'm gonna guess it was your comfort level.
I guess I
No?
have no idea.
Sure.
I don't know. Later on, we're gonna see. Well, let's just hold that.
Unfortunately, we don't have any photos where there are people occupying them to see. John Terry, have you ever thought about traveling to New Mexico to see some of the 16th, 17th, and 18th century structures out there?
Would love to. Sounds like fun.
Tim, Kirby, I've been watching you for a few years. It's good to finally catch you guys live. Well, I'm
Yay.
glad you did today.
You picked the right one.
That's about all I can find, Aaron. You got any more?
That's it. Sorry about that.
Guys, really sorry. I know that Pickle Jars for Hillary sent in a joke earlier about outhouses. I don't remember what it was.
Is there a
and I
different way you
screwed
can catch up and look?
I'm
find them?
looking around.
up. We're trying to find it.
Yeah.
Okay. They'll work on that. So hopefully we'll get back to those. Before I get any further, because there's so much stuff here, and I've got lots, and we're like, time. We have a new batch of mugs. If you guys are interested in Nutmeg Tavern mugs, we have a great new fun color. We're calling this one, it's on the website. It's called Granite. The inside title for this is Loch Ness Gray. Beautiful gray with the nutmeg, with the boar logo. We have some Nutmeg Traders mugs with the ship on them, and this just gorgeous turquoise and chestnut. And this is that barrel shape, really, really nice mugs. And some folks love the throwback logo, which is our old logo from years ago. And so James Townsends and Son Incorporated, and that's the root beer float mug. So if you're interested in one of those mugs, there's a link probably in the chat
Oh, yeah.
for those over on our website.
You could buy a whole family of mugs.
And a lot of folks like to, get different colors and whatnot. Beautiful hand-thrown mugs made in the United States. Those guys do a tremendous job for us. So super thank you. The drink for today
I've got to be honest. I've been sipping on it.
Have you now?
Well, we've been studying pictures.
I wondered why you were giggling over there. This is a wonderful mead sent to us by David Bendixson, who sent us the Nocino that we drank 3 or 4 weeks ago. Super thank you to David for this, this just amazing mead. And he's sort of a mead wizard. He really enjoys making mead, and I enjoy drinking it. It's really good. What do you think, Ryan?
I love it. At first, when I sipped it, I was like, oh my goodness, this is like dessert.
Yeah.
And it was too much for me. But now that I know, small sip, this is a small sip game, then it's doing okay. But yeah, it's very tasty.
Hey, real quick, there's a question that just came in about Townsends Plus. They were saying, how do we join? I couldn't find a place to sign up on the website. they need to hit that blue
Access
get
button
access now button,
Yes.
correct?
Hit that. Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah, so there's in Super Chat, JC Gaming says, I heard root beer float mug, ordering one now. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for that.
Thank you.
And another Super Chat is from Max Cool, a future John reading today's topic, brings up Ben Franklin's A Letter to a Royal Academy about farting. Totally not a joke. He had a lot of interesting letters. So, John,
I don't know if I've read that one.
I have not read that one, but I have heard of that one. Anyway, that catches us up
Okay.
as much as I can on Super
much as you
Chat.
can.
If you guys want to,
keep trying.
I mean, I don't know what to do about
I was
those
gonna
other
say,
ones.
just resend them. And then we no.
So I promised even more on this. We have lots more
Yes,
outhouses to talk about.
real quick.
But there's the new thing I'm working on. The new section of the show, which is called "Things We'll Never Cook on 18th Century Cooking." So this one is out of the Complete Housewife Eliza Smith. I love this cookbook. It's from the 1730s, like 1737, 34. Which one is it? Doesn't say. 1730s. And this is the first of the recipes in all sorts of pastry, the chapter that starts that way. And it says, to make a tourrière, take a china pot or bowl, and this is more like a barrel, because it's got to be huge. Fill it as follows. At the bottom, lay some fresh butter. A good way to start a recipe.
Sure.
Then put in 3 or 4 beefsteaks larded with bacon. Okay. Then cut some veal steaks from the leg and hack them and wash them over with the yolk of an egg, and afterwards lay it all over with forcemeat and roll it up. And lay it in with young chickens, pigeons, and rabbits, some in quarters, some in halves, sweetbreads, lambstones, coxcombs, palates after they are boiled and peeled and cut in slices, tongues, either hogs or calves, sliced, and some larded with bacon, whole yolks of hard eggs, pistachio nuts peeled, force balls, some round, some like an olive, lemon slices with the rind on, berries and oysters. Season all these with salt, pepper, nutmeg, and sweet herbs, mixed together after they are cut very small. I don't know if you're cut everything small. Strew it on everything as you put it in your pot. Then put in a quart of gravy and some butter on top. Cover it close with a lid of puff paste, pretty thick. How long does it cook? 8 hours. There you go.
I'll tell you, I was on the fence, but then when they covered everything in gravy,
Okay, that's
pistachios, lemon peels, wow.
yeah.
That's-
That's a tourrière. I tried to look it up, and I couldn't come up. It's
That's
like,
because nobody in the history of man has ever made
like
it.
they made it up. I don't know what they did. Was it like it's one of those? I think it's one of those recipes you put in your cookbook to make sure people don't copy it. You know,
Right.
like the maps with the fake, roads on it. Here, we're going to throw this one in. No one's ever going to be able to make that.
So we've had more super chats roll in, but I really think we need to get back to the privies. So I'm gonna just.
Okay. I'm going to hold the cats till the very end.
All right. So let me throw these at you real quick.
Okay.
Susan, just ordered a couple more mugs for my collection. Also, the customer service at the store is phenomenal. A little mix up with the recent order was corrected seamlessly. Very kind.
Thank you.
That's how we like to do things.
Yes.
Speaking of style, Tony, I second the coming to New Mexico, Santa Fe, and
House.
Yes, thank you. I got tongue-tied. Have lots of 17th, 18th century buildings, many ghost towns of the 19th century too.
Sounds like fun.
John Talley seconds this. I think we need John to do the reading from the Ben Franklin's farting thingy. And then,
How many likes do we have?
700.
Well,
Keep them coming.
we might get some fart readings.
2,000 likes.
Amber again.
We'll start talking about it.
Amber again. Is Townsends Plus linked to Patreon? Do the exclusives show up in both places or what? So the answer to that is No. Townsends Plus stuff is on Townsends Plus, and if you can't do both, which we're not suggesting that anybody does both, move over to Townsends Plus. You'll really enjoy it. We've got a lot of great content there. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out now. It is really fun.
Yes.
Back to the privies.
Privies, part 2. This is definitely from, actually might even be earlier than the 18th century. This might be based on, now the thing about these privies, especially ones like this, is privies can get moved around, and they might like rot faster than a regular building, so they may be replacements. But this one is from a household that is 17th, 18th century, maybe as late as 1750s. It's like, it's like a doctor's house. Ooh, I could almost have it in my head here. But very interesting. I think we might have the drawings. Try the next image. Yep, ding, there you go. Yes, Ambrose Snow privy. And I believe Ambrose Snow, that one was the one where he was a cobbler also. There's a house images that match this, and it says it was like his house and workshop as a cobbler. So not, sort of like that middling person, and look, it's got 2. It's that as tiny as that is, it's a 2. Then, yeah, there you go.
You just have to have enough room to sit down. That doesn't require much.
Thanks for that, Ryan.
Sure. I'm just supporting the design here.
Now this one.
Look at this one.
This one.
That's about the saddest thing
I don't think the janitor's been in for a while. This one's late. This one's like mid 19th century, but it was just I had to throw this one.
It's like, John, what happened?
Yeah, what happened, bro?
It's like who has not cleaned this up? I believe this is actually downtown-ish, in Boston, and
I'm pretty sure it's in a dive bar in Pennsylvania. I played there.
Anyway.
Someone says, looks like a few gas stations. Some things never change. All right.
Next. Now this one's seen better days. I mean, can you imagine? It is so sad. I love ruins. I think most people enjoy ruins, and photographing ruins is really neat. And I even have some images right across the street from our building. Was an old house that had been there forever, and a factory, and it actually fell down one day. I think it was in the late 80s. It fell down into the street. It was a brick building. But the neat thing is I have images just because I would go around town and take pictures of that house, and it's no longer in existence. And I treasured that image because it's recording something that is no longer available. And I'm sure this building is no longer there. Maybe the site has been, maybe it's a historic site and it's been reconstructed. But you can see this, instead of having the door on the outside of the structure, it's actually cut into it. So they've sort of sliced out the corner of the building, and so there's a roof over the door. And it really neat. See the way the roof is held up there with the structure. I mean, architecturally, It's a very neat structure. I don't think he recorded any images of the inside or anything. So, love this image. Love it. Now, notice how very, very similar this is. This is a reconstruction, it's Tempe something. A famous story from the Revolutionary War. The daughter is taking care of the mother, who's very sick. The father's gone. She rides to get some medicine. When she's coming back, she's accosted by some deserters or mutineers. and they want to steal her horse. And she sort of feigns to give it to them and then rides off with the horse while they're, distracted or whatever. And, jerks the reins out of their hands and boom, off they go. She knows that they're going to follow her to the house. She's worried they're going to steal that horse. And so she hides the horse in the house, or possibly in this privy. But more likely, in the house, in a bedroom, the guys, they come to the house. They know the horses are somewhere. They look around all the outbuildings, and it's not there, so they leave. So that's the famous story around this location, historic site, and this beautiful, but notice the roof line, the size, everything here corresponds with the earlier ones that we've seen. New Jersey, I believe that's where that one at. I like this one. Love it. Love it. It's one of those, if you got to use it, you better hurry up because it might tip right over. This is at a mining site, I believe, in Pennsylvania. I'm sure this one is long gone, but interesting. Pretty. This one is actually in Indiana, probably mid-19th century. This one's in Vevey, Indiana, down in Switzerland County. And it's sort of like behind the courthouse. So it's part of the, government buildings, and it's 6-sided. Crazy privy. Hopefully not currently in use. There's that one again. Notice that roof line again. This is not the same one, is it? I don't think it's exactly the same one as that one we were looking. No, it isn't. No. This is almost exactly the same as the other one, although it's two doors, two very skinny doors. That same swooping roof line, crazy design, and it so matches the house that it went with it. I think the front door of the house even has 2 doors. Side by side, yes. So some of these little privies are like little miniature,
that's really cool.
Houses. It's a fun study. There's one of those great interiors with the spot for every age there. Tall people, short people. Interesting little the door handle on this one that we can see because the doors leans open. So there you go. And even the shadow of the photographer, it looks like. This one's a Quaker meeting house. Early, 1767, I believe. I think Pennsylvania. I believe this is the back side of the building. So, the front was, much more, nice looking and everything. But then on the back side, around to one side, there they've got the privy built in. Really neat design, right built into the side.
Yeah. Man.
Ooh. And I think this is our finish up or almost last one. This one's out west. I just got it because again I like slanty wrecks and buildings that are decaying and gone. Now this was log, and some of the other ones were log. Most of them were out west. Log privies have long since been disused, and if they were out east. So this one's neat because we can see the wood on the inside of the building because there's light coming through the through the roof. And notice the very, very typical kind of late 19th century chinking or notching style on these logs. They just did flat notches. There's nothing really to hold this thing together, so you have to spike those as they go down, or else the whole thing will just sort of fall apart. They're quick and easy to do, though. Yeah. And there we go. We're back to the beginning. So I can't recommend this book enough, and there's so much study to do with the historic house images that are available online. We just got to see privies there, and if you're doing searching, you use lots of synonyms and whatnot. I did my first search with outhouses, and then I changed the wording to privy, and that brought up a whole lot more.
I do think there's a little bit of confusion. Somebody just on Super Chat asked, can you repeat the name of the book these pictures came from again? So
yeah. So these images did not come from this book. But this book is built from images from the same collection. So it's the Historic American something. I think it's BS. I can't remember. Now you're going to make me look it up. But anyway, this book is Where We Lived, and it is talking all about historic structures, 1775 through 1840. And the author did a wonderful job. It's got lots of different kinds of images and from different parts of the country. So tremendous, can't recommend the book enough, and we'll probably cover some of those kinds of things in the future.
So Aaron Howitt's super chat was deleted earlier. And it says there's a latrine in Fort Gaines on Dauphin Island that used the tidal changes to flow underneath and clean everything out twice a day.
I think the same thing happens at Castillo San de Marcos down at St. Augustine, Florida, or it was intended to. There's a little plaque about that, and there's I've got some footage of the privies there.
There's another super chat that is from Seeing Steel Forge. Resending because I love you guys. When the Roku Townsends app becomes available, would you announce it? On that week, live chat I mostly watch on TV, and so my kids get atmosphere exposure. Yeah, we'll make sure to announce that. Somebody else put a comment about how it's not working on their iPad. We haven't had that problem that I know of so far. But if you go to Townsends Plus and you email us through that email address, we'll work with you to get that worked out.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and there's development work that's still going on with that. So, are we there?
You're good to go. You got some kitties to talk about.
Good to go. Yeah.
So
sometimes when you're doing research, you run into something, and really to do the research right, you can't skim through something. You just got to read the whole thing. I found that.
Real quick. Yep. Historic American Buildings Survey.
Yes, there you go. There we go. Historic American Building Survey. I knew it was a BS building survey. So when you're doing historical research and you're looking at older texts, and you want to skip to the back. Okay, where's this going to be? Look in the table of context and just read what you need to and move on. And you'll think that a text only has this little bit of information that you really need if you're kind of working on a hard, individual topic. But so many times things are hiding inside of texts that you just, you couldn't believe it was there. Why didn't anybody find this before? Well, because it's so intensely boring that, you're dead asleep before you get to the interesting part. And maybe it's just 3 sentences in an entire book. Sometimes that happens. I found some really neat information about chemical leavening in that same way. So I've been reading a bunch about fishing and fish preservation. We're going to be doing some episodes in the future. Stay tuned for that. And this was in a fishing book. Nothing about, it's like all about fishing, right? And it's this whole page. A cat is an animal that generally seems averse to wetting his feet, yet from habit he's content to walk the wet meadows in quest of birds, and has oft been known to turn fisher in Thewell Brook, which runs into the Mersey. On moonlit nights, the trout works its way up the current, where there is not water enough to cover his back fin. The cat then springs upon the fish from the bank and has been known to carry it to Mr. Lee at Thewell. As a dog does a large bone he has stolen from his neighbor, or as a greyhound sometimes doth with a hare to his master at home. As to cats, their humors should be determined from the wild ones, for those that have been long domesticated contract new and strange habits. My cat walks every day over the wet and cold sink on which the dishes are washed very contentedly in hopes of picking up the fragments from the plates, whilst another in Northamptonshire will no more eat an oyster than the poorer sort of natives. At the same time, that they will devour a salad dressed with oil, vinegar, salt, and pepper. In cats, the hair on the bottoms of the outside of their hind leg turns upwards. Perhaps this disposition may assist them in leaps, by which they and their genus take their prey. That was in a book on fish. I'm not sure what was going on with that guy as he was writing, but he was enjoying that story.
We have one more super chat that's come in from John Talley. What happens when the outhouse gets full? Is the ground under and around it not usable for anything like growing food or anything else?
This is a good question, and I think it's taken care of in a couple of different ways depending on the situation and the kind of outhouse it is. So there are some that you can just move. So you might just like, oh, we'll just scoot this one over, fill in the hole, dig another hole, and off we go. Obviously, you're not doing that with a brick outhouse, and you can, to a certain extent, throw like quicklime into the hole occasionally so that it breaks down the matter that's down there quicker. And that may be actually the reason why there are two holes, so that maybe it's like, we're using the left one this month, and then we're going to move over to the other one, and then they can let one side break down. It looks like some of them had ways to clean them out, and other ones were probably just cleaned out manually if they needed to be. So there's a bunch of different ways you can deal with that. There was even one image that showed, it was actually an image not of a privy, but of a basement with a fireplace in it. And there was this pipe that ran through the middle of the basement at a slant, or cellar, at a slant. And the text said something like, it's a drain for the privy. Which was weird.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Just so you know, we did hit 1,000 likes.
Now I've got to go and look up that Ben Franklin thing for the future, I guess.
You sound
1,000.
excited.
Thousands, huh?
Yeah, they
Wait,
did
we
it.
did?
Yeah. Did we not?
No.
My
No?
analytics says it.
Does it? Oh, mine.
Hey, guys.
No.
Okay.
Let's get this
Okay.
right.
We didn't.
Either it
We
is
did
or we
not hit
didn't.
it.
45 to go.
You guys can make it happen.
Yeah, now's your
Okay.
chance. No, I'm not looking it up unless...
We said 2,000 likes, though, for the
Did we?
Yeah, as a joke.
Oh, somebody even says 50 more likes. Come on. 40,
Uh-oh.
46 more. There's some
How are we
work
going
to
to
do
handle
here.
that?
There's some work to do here.
Yeah.
Yeah, hard work. Hard work.
Please don't.
You don't want them to?
Ooh, here it
Okay.
comes. Oh, no.
John Hardy is in super chat. I just like all your good work and content. I enjoyed the food programs best. Made my first chevre from our goat's milk last week.
Yeah, cheese.
And thought of you all.
There we go.
There we
Yeah,
go.
I'll bet that was goat's milk cheese. Pretty cool.
1,000 likes.
Hit it.
I've never been so.
The trauma factor is in super chat. Hello from the Wayside Inn in Sudbury, Massachusetts. Tip for a sneaky thumbs up from the barkeep. Well, you already gave your tip, so I don't have to give you a thumbs up.
Letter. It's her letter, right? I'll have to look that one up. I mean, it can't be that hard to find, right?
Fart proudly, John. That's what it's called.
Okay, there we go.
Fart very proudly.
Okay, well, quite proudly.
Aaron, fart proudly isn't bad, somebody said.
Yeah, I saw.
Well, guys, this has been a real experience.
It has. It has. I mean, you just never know where a book and a suggestion is going to lead you. Again, thank you to Kelly for the suggestion, and it is a tremendous book. I love that sort of imagery. I only wish we had actual photographs of the 18th century, even if they were very, very crude. But hey, we got to live with what we got, and we have these. Oh, it reminds me, before we got a few seconds left. So all the images were taken. All the images I noticed, some of them may have been different. But if you looked at some of those images, can you bring up just any one of those middle images for me?
Yeah,
Doesn't really matter. Okay. So notice around what's going on with the framing of this image. It's black around the outside edge, and there's sort of these little notches, and they've written on that. What they did was they scanned the negative. So go ahead, you can come back to me. That is done on 4x5 negatives. And I thought I would show you the kind of camera that they used to take those images, because I have this. That is my grandfather's Crown Graphic. He was a amateur photographer person. He loved doing that kind of thing. So there is the camera that they would use to take those kinds of images. You would open up the lens and you would be able to see the image that you were trying to take on the back side here on the ground glass. You could frame it up with the little, finder on the side. If you've ever seen those sort of movies from the 40s and 50s where the photographers, the newspaper photographers coming out and they take a picture. He's holding probably something like this. This is a Crown Graphic. They were Speed Graphics, made in the United States. Amazing cameras made by Graflex. The film holder this is one of the film holders, and you would only take 2 pictures. It had 2 pieces of film in it, and there's even old junky film in here. You open this up, you see a sheet of film. This, of course, is undeveloped. So there's a sheet of film that goes in one of those, but the film is hiding in there behind this little black slide, right? You slide this whole cartridge in the back of it, and that is now stuck between the glass and the side here. You'd open it up, you'd take the little slide out, and that exposes a film. Take your picture, and then when you're done with it, you'd put the slide back in, and you'd have to take that back to the dark room just so that you could take the film out and develop it. A fun camera. I've used this one a lot. So way back in the 90s, I did all the photography for the catalog in black and white on 4x5. So I've got a lot of experience with taking images just like that. So
that's really cool.
Awesome.
Fun camera to use.
I
love it.
We've been talking a little bit more since a couple more super chats came through.
Okay.
We've got one. John baked an onion last week when I was low on groceries. It was fantastic. What is your favorite major city of the 18th century history and living history?
That's a tough call, because there's a lot of interesting things going on with the different cities and the things that are each one of them's got their own flavor, just like they do today. So Boston's going to be different than Philadelphia, and New York. They each have their different things. So I don't know if I've got a favorite. Even that idea of St. Augustine or Charleston, they're just so different. When you read stories or journals from each one, I don't know. Tough call.
And then another one, this is from Aaron. I love your videos and all that you do. Have you ever visited Fort Stanwix in upstate New York? Fascinating sight and story in the hometown.
I have not been to Fort Stanwix, but I would love to, and Fort Tye and all that. So, yeah, it'd be neat.
All right. We have overstayed our welcome.
Okay.
But we do have those 3 mug options that are brand new as of today.
Yeah,
Please
check
go
out those mugs.
out.
Yeah, check out the mugs. They're a lot of folks enjoy them, and I really like mine too.
And we would love to see more of you folks over at Townsends Plus. Make sure to check that out.
And also Monday's episode, put it on your calendar. It's going to be a good one. I want to thank Ryan for all your work back there, making the drinks and all that chat.
Sorry. We don't have this completely confirmed yet, but we are looking forward to a hopefully very special live guest, Skype guest, in the Nutmeg Tavern next week. You will not want to miss this episode.
Yeah.
And we will let you know midweek if it is actually going to happen, but get ready for this.
I don't know how we're going to tell you, but it's going to be, if it's going to happen, it's going to be well. Okay, so Now
Yes,
can we
so
go?
sorry. Yes.
So thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Aaron, for making all that stuff happen. Technology. All the super thanks to Patreon folks, folks that support us on PayPal. Amazing folks over there on supporting us on Townsends Plus. Even if you can't support us in any of those ways, people doing super chat, whatever, all those things make. Every single one of those things makes a difference and makes it possible for us to do the content we do. Even if you just are able to watch our videos, share them with other people, comment, all that actually does make a real difference. So thank you everyone for what you do, and thanks for watching. Have a great weekend.